Desiring to experience joy. So this is just a question. Just go ahead and shout out. You can come off mute. Do we have the opportunity for them to come off mute?
Nope. If you want to come off mute, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay, so just a few people shout out. How many people do you think come to work desiring to experience joy?
Yes,
I do.
Yeah, so percentage-wise, what do you think from percentage?
75.
Yeah. Who else?
I mean, I hope everybody wants joy.
Yeah.
I'm hoping everybody.
Yeah, okay, so 100%. Yeah, so the answer is 90%. I don't know who these 10% are that are saying, no, I'm good. I don't need joy. It's fine. Yet joy is linked to increased employee satisfaction, client satisfaction, productivity, profitability. It is the closest link to those. But 10% are good. But 90% want it. And here's what's shocking. How many, from a percentage point, how many actually experience joy every day? What do you think?
75%.
25.
Okay, so you're thinking 75%. Daryl, what did you say?
25.
25, okay, 25. Anybody else?
55.
55. Okay, the actual number, and this is a Harvard study, this is not my study, 37% actually experience joy. And therein lies the joy gap. So 53% is the joy gap, meaning we had 90% that wanted to experience joy and 37% that did. So do we see the challenge? We come to work every day thinking that joy is outside of us and it's going to be something that we're going to get, but we don't. And right now, if you guys have heard, there's a lot of people, maybe you know some, maybe you are them, that want to shift jobs thinking that that's going to solve it. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But this joy gap is at the center of that. So now, here's the question. How do we solve the joy gap? Because it's totally possible. And I'm going to give you the formula that's going to do it. It's called HIA. HIA. Remember, I own some martial arts studios. HIA, H-I-A, that's our formula. It's called harmony, impact, and acknowledgement. So these are the three pieces that will solve that joy gap. It'll bring you closer so that we lessen the gap, okay? And I'm going to teach you this formula through my experiences of coaching my 8-year-old's Little League baseball team. Has anybody coached Little League baseball? Just raise your hand if you have. Yeah, so I'm going to put an emphasis in the assistant coach. I was not the main coach. I'm the assistant coach, which is a really important lesson here. So know your lane. I know that I am not that great at baseball. I showed up to practice to drop off my son. My son had put my glove in my car, got it out, and said, my mom will assistant coach. And that's how I became the assistant coach. So these lessons that I developed are really from being in the fire. So harmony, if you've ever seen AU baseball, when you're 5, 6, even 7, you just put as many kids onto the field as you can. So you got 10 kids, 12 kids on the team, you put 10 or 12 kids on the field. We don't care where they're standing. We don't care what they're doing. We just want them to love baseball. We want them to start to understand what the sport is. We don't care whether they get hits because every one of them gets to hit. You see those 6-year-old plays, everyone gets to hit, everyone gets to cross home plate. But when you get to 8-year-old baseball, you start to introduce kid pitch and being able to get out. And so now you have your players where some of them sit on the bench and support, they're cheerleading the other team, they're supporting them, they're resting, but you've also got kids in each of the positions. You've got your first baseman, your second baseman, your third baseman, your outfielders, your shortstop, your pitcher, your catcher. These all become really, really important. And I'll tell you my role here. My role as the assistant coach, 2 of them, I either am the first base coach or I stand behind the catcher. And as I was watching the other teams that we were playing, the pitcher would throw the ball to the catcher. Now this is 8U baseball. So there's about a 20% chance that that catcher is actually going to catch the ball. Most of the time it's going to go behind him. But what would happen for the other teams is the parent, the coach that was back behind the catcher, they'd pick up the ball and they'd throw it to the pitcher. Now, how is the catcher ever going to learn? When he misses the ball or she misses the ball and the pitcher picks it up, or he picks it up and throws it back to the pitcher. So one of the things that I made sure that I did was that every single time the ball went past the catcher and I got it, I handed it to the catcher and the catcher threw it back to the pitcher. And when we're playing in harmony, it's that everybody knows their roles and that we don't step over our roles because it feels good for us. It would have been a lot faster to just throw the ball back to the pitcher. We could have gotten the game moving. And in fact, when I would go ask other coaches, because I was super curious about this, and I'd say, why do you throw the ball back to the pitcher? Why don't you give the ball to the catcher and then throw it back? And they would say, well, we want to keep the game moving. We want to give the kids more experiences. We want them to be able to be at bat more so they don't get bored. But we rob the catcher of the experience of learning how to throw it back. And so think about that. How many times are you picking up the ball for someone else, which is actually one of the most disempowering things that we can do. We think that we're serving, but we're really robbing them of the experience to learn. So often we don't want people to fail. We think of failure as this horrible thing, but yet that's where we learn. That's where we learn. And so think about how many times we pick up the ball for other people. I have a little monkey that sits on my desk. And this little monkey has a baby monkey on top. And my business coach gave it to me years ago. And he said, remind yourself of how often you're carrying other people's challenges on your back. And I realized that that was quite a bit. And that's a joy suck for me, but it's also not serving the other person. And for me, in my role, and I think for a lot of you guys, we're committed to growing other people. We're committed to passing on our skills. And so in order to do that, we've got to not pick up the ball. We've got to see the ball. We've got to encourage the ball to get back to where it gets to go, but we don't pick up the ball. We don't pick up the ball. And so that's harmony. Everybody knows where they're playing, and we play in our space. We're willing to support, but we don't step in to solve someone else's problems. We support them. That's harmony. Our first one in our hiya. The second one is impact. And impact can be defined as the game that we're playing. So in this case, when we're playing 8-year-old baseball, we're playing baseball. Now I'll tell you, the little league fields that we play at, right next door, there's a big green space. And almost every game, some other kids would come play in this green space. They'd be playing football. And our kids would get excited about this pickup football game that was going on. And all of a sudden they'd be looking at the football game instead of the game in front of them. And we constantly be reminding them, what game are you playing? Are you playing football or are you playing baseball? Now think about that in our world. How often have we gotten into a comparison game of what somebody else is doing? The competitor's doing, this person's doing, the influencer's doing, this brand's doing. We get caught up in what everyone else is doing and we forget that it's our game that we're playing. We will never win someone else's game. We will never win someone else's game. We can only win our own game. And so when we clearly define what our game is, the game that we're up to, the impact that we can make, then we can win. But we'll never win at somebody else's game. And most people get up, not you guys in this room, because I know that you guys understand this, but most people in the world get up and they don't know what their game is. And if you don't know what your game is, you don't know what impact you're making. And impact is what drives us to get out of bed in the morning. How many people hit their snooze button today when they got up out of bed? This is truth telling. It's like Vegas. I was just there. What happens there stays there. Yeah. So we got some people. Now, how many people jumped out of bed and were like, this is my day. I'm going to own it. Okay. We got a couple people that jumped out of bed. Yeah. And the difference is when you know your impact that you're making, when you know your purpose, when you know your vision, when you're clear on these, you know your lane. So you're playing in harmony, you're an impact. You jump up out of bed. When you're a little unsure, we hit snooze. We hit snooze. And so it's just a choice. You get to decide which way do you want to live. And our last piece in HIA is acknowledgement. It's acknowledgement. When we're playing AU baseball, we cheer everybody on. We are so excited. Those kids, as long as they stood on the field, we are saying, good job, Johnny. I'm so excited you were here. Yes, this is great. Good job, Thomas. Yay, you held your glove up. Good job. Good job, Benny. I saw you. I know you got one across the plate. You might have thrown 30, but one got there. Yay, we acknowledge everything. One of the biggest reasons that people leave their jobs, they say that these joy sucks occur in their life is because they don't think anyone cares or notices. People want to be seen, heard, and understood. Seen, heard, and understood. And acknowledgement is that. It's understanding that people are seen, heard, and understood. So acknowledging people, and it can be very simple. I acknowledge you for showing up today. I acknowledge you for being here. I acknowledge you for the smile on your face today. So there's lots of different ways that you can acknowledge people, but that's really important. So solving the joy gap, what can you do in this moment today? Number one, articulate your vision. AAF Nebraska, I acknowledge you for articulating where you're headed. The second one is harmony. Know your role and the role of each of your teammates. So I got to meet some of you guys that are in different board positions, some of you that are choosing on committees, some of you that are a member. Know your position. Be willing to support, but that doesn't mean we're picking up the balls for other people. Impact. Know the game we're playing. We are not the AAF of California. We're not the San Diego chapter. We are not the New York chapter. We are AAF Nebraska. And when you play at that level, which I know you are, those groups will be looking to you to say what's happening here, because that's who I want to be. You can only win at your own game. And the last one, what can you do today? Acknowledgement, both yourself. It's really important to acknowledge yourself and your team. So AAF Nebraska, I acknowledge you for being here early in the morning, enjoying coffee with me. Thank you for having me. You want to hear any more from me or any more about it? I have my live radio show. Got that book that I was telling you about, #1 new release in eye problems. Or just reach out to me, send me a note. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions, I am here for you.
Thank you, Kathleen. That is a great way to kick off the morning. I'm already feeling a little bit of joy today. Let's open this up for some questions and answers for Kathleen. Use the chat feature. Or if Kathleen wants to work directly, people can unmic and go ahead and ask directly.
Feel free to unmic and we can absolutely just have a conversation.
Unmute, sorry.
I don't have a question necessarily, but I just wanted to say thank you for your opening story. One, I don't know how I kept it together, but two, thank you for being vulnerable. And I feel like I haven't had the exact same experience, but just thinking about it, just hearing your story made me probably shift my own mentality when walking into a situation like that. So thank you for sharing. That's awesome. And the entire presentation was great. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, Anne. And that's a wonderful acknowledgement I received. And I'll share with you guys that same level of vulnerability is such a key. It's one thing that I've worked on as a presenter and sharing some of these stories. The last time I shared that, I was bawling. And it was I've talked about it one-on-one, but it was the first time I publicly shared that. And the more that we open up about that stuff, the more we release it. And that's the powerful space. So thank you, Anne.
Can't wait to check out your podcast.
Yeah, definitely. That's anybody that's either has a podcast or is interested in a podcast. It's been a year of recording. And so that's been a whole other growth area. So anywhere that I can support anybody, it's got a live radio show too, component too, which is a little bit different. But if you guys are thinking about that at all, let me know. What I know, I get to give to you. So I'm freely sharing of this information.
Appreciated.
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions or thoughts? Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Kathleen. Much
All right.
appreciated.
You guys have such a great day. I will see you soon. I'm going to sign off, and mwah. Thank you, Terry, for having me, team. I'll see you later.
Okay, we just have a little bit of business to go through as we say goodbye to the outgoing board and welcome the incoming board. So if people can stick around for a few minutes, it would be greatly appreciated. Once again, I'm Daryl Anderson. I am Creative Director for Clark Creative Group and the outgoing president of AAF Omaha. And we'll soon be turning the presidency over as we also turn into AAF Nebraska, which is very exciting. This past year I served as president. I'm going to continue on the board as chairman as board of directors to help mentor and guide and to continue our efforts as we become AAF Nebraska and get into our new branding. I want to thank you all for your past year of service. Thanks to you, we did not have a gap year. AAF Omaha definitely excelled. You know, in a year of uncertainty, you know, during COVID, this board really pivoted. Every event, you know, every in-person thing that we do, you know, got canceled and had to go to virtual. And you all as a board got inventive, reimagined, and reinvented our programming, our special events, our approach to membership. Truly inspirational. The development of operations, recruitment, our responsible fidelity, mindfulness to inclusion and diversity, and the overall long-term success of this club, you know, should really give you all a great sense of pride. As we end this year, I just want to recognize a few of the amazing accomplishments of the board and your committees during this year of obstacles. First and foremost, as everybody knows, this spring, AAF Lincoln's membership voted to merge with AAF Omaha, and AAF Omaha's membership voted for the Federation to become AAF Nebraska. Totally exciting, something we've been working for quite a while. After today's meeting and by the end of the month, we will unite to become AAF Nebraska. What a great way to start off a new club year as we welcome and engage new members across the state. And we are just getting ready to launch a new robust website. It's going to have a lot of new features, a lot of new offerings for members, and this should be coming at the month's end. So watch for that. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. I'm really excited for this upcoming change as we go into a future as AAF Nebraska. Thanks to everyone for securing sponsorships that provided the club a net of $11,500 towards operations. That's just incredible. Annually, as everybody knows, we enter the AAF National Club Achievement Competition, and we go up against 150 clubs and federations affiliated with AAF across the country and compete within their division in 5 categories. We proudly entered all 5 categories this year, and congratulations to our board. We got 2nd place in the public service category in our AAF Division 3. Really great work, y'all. Very proud of you. Last week, we also helped host the annual On-Brand Conference, along with AIGA, PRSA, AMA, and IABC. That virtual event brought more than 150 advertising, marketing, communications, and public relations professionals together virtually for a unique career development and networking opportunity. Now for some personal notes. Sorry, I'm getting a little wordy. Thanks to our membership team led by Paula Stinson and Alec Ray for continuing to bring more value to our members. They successfully hosted 3 Ad Connects, a movie trivia night for members and non-members to connect and network. They continued the members perks programs, and their virtual holiday netted us $5,000 for the club, $4,500 going to club operations, and $500 to be donated to our public service partner. Thank you to our communications team led this past year by Cody Felber and Jessica Schmitz. Thank you for connecting with our members through AAF Omaha social media channels, the monthly newsletter Ad Muse. You as a communications team has kept our members informed of events, projects, and member spotlights throughout the year. The American Advertising Awards in Nebraska this year was held virtually and led by our Lincoln affiliate. I want to thank Omaha leaders David Moore and Lauren Schuster for helping with a successful award season and for leading the student elements of the competition this year. During the awards, we also honored our silver medal winners, Jan and Ray Dotzler, our Ad Pro of the Year, Bob Mancuso, and Ad Rookie of the Year, Aubrey Schreier. And on September 2nd, we'll actually be able to honor everybody in person. So we all get to look forward to that, in-person events. Susan Kalinsky and Rod Coleman are commended for leading the AAF Omaha's community outreach programs. Their team members engaged with students throughout the region this year via Zoom, in college classrooms, universities, ad clubs, high school meetings. They led the Advance Omaha Fund and our DE&I efforts throughout the year and made great advances. The Advance Omaha Fund collected $28,000 from 11 Nebraska agencies to donate to the selected organizations Culture House, 75 North, Noise, and IB Black Girl. And those relationships continue to this day, helping us build mentorship programs out. With Suzanne's supervision, AAF Omaha through the University of the Nebraska Foundation and the Creighton University Foundation awarded 3 scholarships totaling $6,000 in scholarship funds to students pursuing degrees within our industry. Really an amazing feat, and those students will excel. Last summer, we created a mentor program matching 8 scholarship winners with area professionals. And we also matched several more mentors and mentees for online portfolio reviews. Meet the Pros this year was orchestrated under the direction of Kevin Olive and Marley Cowdery. In March, AAF Omaha hosted more than 90 passionate and ambitious college students, connecting them with some of the best advertising and marketing professionals in the business. We offered students more than a virtual conference. We offered them a start to a career for many. Meet the Pros surpassed its profitability responsibility to AAF and raised nearly over $5,000. Thanks to Jim Dietering and Jessica Tieford and the Special Events Committee for leading the Federation's advertising efforts. Boom Roasted took a twist this year, poking fun at agency presidents Lynn Weineman, Mary O'Brien, Wendy Weisman, and Greg Anderson. Ad Wars was hosted in the spring with great success virtually, and also hosted a fun Jingle Bingo event. Professional development. Our education was led by Ginny Allenbaum and Aaron Burnham. They planned successful professional development programs throughout the year, all virtually. They were able to offer a variety of learning opportunities that help our members grow and develop skills while hearing from great thought leaders throughout the region. Our public service committee, led by Chris LaCroix and Lauren Rock, worked with the team at the Refugee Empowerment Center. That committee focused on growing the refugee candle business. The refugee candles are handmade by the REC clients, and their sales directly support refugees in Omaha. And their goal was to help them push this even further to help their fundraising efforts towards refugees in the area. Thank you, Chris, Lauren, and the team. Thank you to Cassie Warren and Bob Mancuso for leading our legislative team. In addition to monthly communications, they work to position AAF Omaha as a prominent resource for the advertising community, providing resources on issues and needs surrounding our industry by monitoring state and national legislation so we can advocate to lawmakers what our industry is demanding. Our executive team, thank you, work tirelessly to oversee all areas of the club. Thank you, David Lemp. Thank you, Ann Woodford. Thank you, Jenna Baird. Thank you, Terry Hamburger, for guiding our board members and federation throughout the year. Your leadership helped our already focused board and committee members stay on task throughout the year, achieving their goals and accomplishments. They kept an active eye on overall operations of the club through the year and continued to look at long-range planning for the organization and really helped develop great tools during this pandemic that we were able to carry virtually and that will also carry into future programming. Special thanks to David Lemp, our chairman, as he leaves the board this year. Thank you for serving on every committee during your tenure, David. You're a joy to work with. We're really gonna miss you. Best of luck into whatever endeavors you go on to. And last but not least, we thank all of our sponsors that have allowed AAF Omaha to do the work that we love in our community. I was honored to work with the 2021 Board of Directors. I look forward to the coming year and the new board members with us today. I had Terry drop off a little token of appreciation for everybody. If you have those, if everybody can hold those up so that we can get a quick little screenshot of the outgoing board, that would be great. I have one, didn't really need to give one to myself, but for picture purpose, go ahead and doing it. Somebody grabbing the picture.
David, can you grab a picture or two?
I got it, Terry.
1 second.
Thank you.
I don't have mine handy though. It's all right. All right, everyone, 2, 3. Hold on, let me make sure I got it. Stay there. All right, we'll do one more. 1, 2, 3. All right, thanks everyone.
Thanks, David. Ballots have been coming in the past 3 weeks for the election of the 21-22 Board of Directors. And with the election closed this morning at 8:30 a.m., it is now my pleasure and honor to pass the gavel to the most capable Ann Woodford.
That was fun, Daryl. Thank you.
Welcome, Ann. You're going to do a great job, and I'm here to support you all the way.
Thank you. I definitely am looking forward to the next year. One, I'm going to apologize, sinus and ear infections, so definitely not my normal voice right now. I'm also going to read from notes because, you know, if I have to stop. So thank you, Daryl, for your many years of service on the AAF Omaha Board of Directors and for leading us as president this last year. I always look forward to your support and our friendship, and I very much look forward to the next year. We do have a small gift for you, so Terry will stop by later. With that, I'm very happy to welcome back our returning board members and welcome our new joining chairs. The flexibility, enthusiasm, and innovation that I've encountered so far from this year's board members is just simply incredible. And it's really going to ensure that as AAF Nebraska, we will continue to be a strong and adaptable force in our community. Excuse me. I've dubbed our unofficial theme for the 21-22 year as connections. Certainly not unique, but it's what we do. As AAF Nebraska, we plan to connect people through in-person and virtual events. We commit to connecting our communities by becoming AAF Nebraska and welcoming in new towns and cities to our AAF family. We will continue to connect our members to content by offering educational events from industry-leading professionals. We will connect careers by sharing available positions and lifting our fellow creatives up in our resume and job board. Those are just a few of the connections that we vow to make in the coming year. Stay tuned for more as we begin the year. I would like to share just a few of the goals that we're looking at coming into this next year. These are in no particular order, and the list is certainly not the full list of goals. First and foremost, we will demonstrate and highlight that AAF Nebraska is living its mission and beliefs through purposeful outreach, events, programming, and initiatives. We will continue to weave diversity, equity, and inclusion into the culture of the club through membership, recruitment, educational and event opportunities, community resources, and beyond. We will create a 2-year strategic plan focused on the execution of becoming AAF Nebraska to its full extent. This plan will include content such as membership structure, branding, new market outreach, reaching out to the new areas or the further out areas, excuse me, programming, event opportunities, ambassadors, and so on. We plan to re-engage with in-person events beginning in September, which, yay, I know we're all very much looking forward to that. We will also continue to provide virtual events to our members throughout the year, both developmental opportunities as well as fun. On September 2nd, we'll be hosting our it feels weird to say first, but Ad Connect in person at Nebraska Crossing. We will continue to observe social distancing and recommendations through the CDC, but we're still very excited to get together and see everybody in person. And that is live on our website, so please get registered today. I plan to introduce and appoint our newly created advisory committee. This is an ad hoc committee. This committee will have at least 4 members to serve a 1-year term. This committee will meet with the executive board to provide insights, share resources, and etc. And I will introduce them here in just a few minutes. We will continue to research, develop, and communicate membership benefits on a local and national level that impact all members and member companies. We have charged each of our board members to grow their committees for increased perspectives and to increase member benefits. If you're not involved in a committee, I would highly recommend, feel free to pop into any of our meetings just to check it out and see if there's a good fit for you. Excuse me. We will build upon the success of AAF Nebraska's signature college student conference, Meet the Pros. We'll explore innovative and exciting technology to expand the reach and the content of the event. We will also build a communications plan for each college or trade school in Nebraska and surrounding states to promote students as young as the 8th grade. We all know that students are our future, so why not start in 8th grade and let them know what the advertising industry has to offer. Excuse me, through community outreach, our student programming and diversity and inclusion initiatives, AAF Nebraska will continue to work to foster the next generation of advertising professionals. AAF Nebraska will continue to highlight and provide equity and recognize diversity through AAF National and AAF Nebraska programs, events, and communications. You'll also be seeing more from us on social media channels, so if you're not already following us on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, please take a minute to do so. Appreciate you. Excuse me. Now I would like to introduce you to our 21-22 Board of Directors. Board members, if you are here in the Zoom, please give a wave or a reaction so that way everybody can see your smiling face. So I'd like to start with Jenna Baird with Bozell. She will be AAF Nebraska's first Vice President and Treasurer. Cassie Warren with KETV, AAF Nebraska's second Vice President. Daryl Anderson with Clark Creative Group, AAF Nebraska Chairman of the Board. So sorry, guys. And then for our board members in membership, excuse me, we will have Paula Steenson with Paula Presents and Alec Ray with Frost Media Group. Communications, we welcome in Annie Albin, UNL Office of University Communications, and Taylor Doan with Native Digital, both new to the board, so welcome, ladies. For American Advertising Awards, we have David Moore with Objective and Lauren Schuster with Bailey Lauerman. For community outreach, education, and our diversity efforts, we have Shayna Boyd, 1123, and Aaron Clark with Kid Glove. Welcome to both of you. Meet the Pros, we have Kevin Olive with the Ambient Store and Aaron Berman, Folk Branding.
And would you like me to help you out a little?
Please. Sorry, I've got a
Okay.
tickle and it's just not going away.
For special events, we have Melissa, and I'm hoping to pronounce it right, Steven?
It's Stephens.
Stephens.
Sorry, my new laptop, the video's not working, so we're going to work on that today.
Chris LaCroix from does freelance, working on public service, and Lauren Rock from RCG Advertising and Media. Jenny is with us today from Anderson Partners, Jenny Allenbach, and Katie Pavel from Peer Sales Agency. They will be working on our professional development programming with our hopefully back to in-person programming, as well as online programming and virtual presentations. And our legislative issues team is Jeffrey Majichewski from Creighton University. He and Janet Knoll from Flood Communications, Telemundo, Nebraska, and News Channel Nebraska TV will be working together on legislative issues. Lisa Conklin, who is a past AF Omaha president, will continue to serve on the AAF District 9 leadership team as the District 9 governor, and Kelly Britton will be the District 9 leader in charge of overseeing the District American Advertising Awards. So we have two AAF Nebraska members that are going to be representing us on the District 9 leadership team.
Which is awesome. Thank you, Terry. I think I got it cleared. Thank you, everybody, for just bearing with me. So as I mentioned earlier, we have a new addition to AF Nebraska, and that's our advisory committee. Members of this ad hoc committee should have board experience at the local, district, or national level. These members will be or must be current on membership dues and do not have voting rights. This committee will meet with the executive board at least quarterly to provide insight, share resources, experiences, anything like that to help us grow and expand our club. They will be invited to all AF Nebraska events and board or committee meetings, but they are not required to attend. So it is my honor. I'm super excited to work with this amazing group of individuals. I would like to appoint Greg Ahrens with Smith Kroger, Steve Armbruster from RCG Media and Advertising, Jen Landis with Pin Curl Girls, and Chris Linville with Alpha Media. So I'm super excited to kind of learn from these individuals and see where they can help us take AF Nebraska. So thank you all for volunteering to join this committee, and I look forward to working with you all. Please plan to join us for upcoming events. You can visit our current website at aafomaha.org or follow us on social media to learn about upcoming events and announcements. Just a little, not sneak peek, but we are working on revamping our website. So that will be changing soon to aafnebraska.org. You will hear more about that via email as well as social media channels when we make that switch. Thank you to all of our sponsors throughout the year. We could not do this without you. We're so grateful, and I look forward to working with all of you in the future too. Not last but not least, but I cannot wait until September 2nd. I hope that all of you can join us. It's going to be a great time. We'll have some food. Everybody has the opportunity to buy drinks. We're going to honor our award winners from last year, so that way they get to feel the love in person as they deserve. And it'll be at local at Nebraska Crossing. I've worked with a manager there. He's a really great guy, and they have a really awesome patio too. So get registered today. We look forward to seeing you there. Let's see here. I think that's kind of a wrap. So one, thank you all so much for being here today and putting up with this that's happening. I look forward to working alongside each and every one of you. I think you all probably know that I drink the Kool-Aid for AAF. So I'm excited to keep working with you all and one, get to meet in person and get to know everybody even better. So yeah, thank you for being here. Let's move the needle and let's make some history as American Advertising Federation Nebraska.
Before we totally wrap, let's get one more group picture.
Okay.
And if there are last year board members still with us, let's hold up your plaques from Daryl as well. David or Jenna, but we won't, if you don't mind.
I'm going to turn off my background so you can actually see mine.
One. Oh, ready? 1, 2, 3. I think we got it.
Great. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Anything else before we close the meeting out? Thank you guys for being here.
And just a final thank you to you all for a great past year. Have a great
you,
next
girl.
year.
It was a crazy year, but we did it. Thank you guys. Have an excellent week and weekend, and we will see you soon.